Hey, it's Jackie. Okay, so I am doing a basics series, and basically for the basics, I'm such an idiot, guys. I mean, really, okay, when you break it down, I'm really just sitting in a room pretending that I'm talking to people. So if I come off a little, silly and strange sometimes, just, go with it and move on. Okay, so blush and contouring. Hi. All right, now these are, I think, okay, first of all, I didn't use blush or contour for the longest time, and then I started contouring, and blush was like the last thing that I worked into my beauty regimen, and now I feel like now that I use it, it's like the most important thing ever because it just creates health to your face. It makes you look prettier. I mean, you just look better with a little color on your cheeks. It's healthy looking, girls. I mean, what the heck can I say about it? You look good with blush on. All right, so I was always, the reason why I never bought blush is because I was kind of, I don't know where I got in the idea of my head that, like, you could only wear one color of blush and, like, that was the only color that you would ever wear ever, and, like, if you are an autumn, wear a peach blush. And I'm like, well, I don't know what kind of peach blush I want. And the whole thing was, like, too confusing with me, so I just threw the whole blush idea out the window. I'm like, well, I won't wear blush then. So basically, you can wear any color of blush that you want, is what I'm learning. And there's a couple types of blush. There's liquid, there's cream, and there's powder. And obviously, I'm sure everybody is, familiar with powder blushes. They're just powder blushes. They're everywhere. I own, actually, these are all Wet n Wild blushes. These are actually the only 4 colors that they have of these blushes. And depending on what I'm wearing on my face or what I'm wearing on my, clothes is what blush I wear. And they're all different, but they're all, so pretty. They all have, their own purposes. And you can mix different types of blush, like different colors too, if you want to create, just a fun new shade. Then there are cream blushes, which is like, so this is the L'Oreal Visible Lift blush, and you can't really even barely tell it's a cream until you get into it and touch it, but it's definitely like, I don't know if you can tell. I mean, it's definitely got, I could push into the product. I mean, it's definitely a creamy product. And this is in Berry Lift, I think. Maybelline also makes a really cool product. Mine has dog hair on it, go figure. This is the Dream Bouncy Blush, and this is in the color Hot Tamale. And this also has, kind of like I don't know if you can see, I'm trying not to, mess up my product too much. But you can smush into it. It's kind of got a whipped, like a solid mousse type of deal. And that's that color right there. And then I got this one from Revlon, which, don't judge a book by its cover, ladies. And that's why I love YouTube and everything, because you're able to see it kind of in real life. As close to real life as this gets. You can't touch it in the store. This is all packaged up. All right, so this is the Revlon Photo Ready, and this is in Coral Reef. And this is also a cream blush. And look at that color. And this doesn't have, like, it's not moussey and whipped like the other one. It's way more solid, if you can tell. Like, I can't really push into the product at all, but I mean, you can still tell that it leaves, you know, a fingerprint. And that is that color right there. But these, you know, as bright and pigmented as these come off, the beauty about cream blushes is that they sheer out so nice on, you know, your cheek. So, you know, what is a scary red color, which this is what I just put on my hand, this is this color, you know, it becomes very wearable once, you know, you use them. Okay, so then there's these liquid tints that Benefit is really known for, and they have like Posy Tint is like a pink, Benetint is reddish, Lolly Tint is like a lilac sort of color, and then this is Cha Cha Tint. And the way that these guys work, they look like they're in like a nail polish tube almost. And, you know, just with the cream blushes, I like to just put a little bit of this on my cheeks or on my fingers and just rub it around my cheeks. And I find that they blend out really easily. So girls, do not be scared of the cream blushes. They are not hard to use. And really they are perfect right now for this time of year. It is cold and it, you know, your skin is getting dried out. So these little cream blushes can be like the most brightening, luminous, it just looks really, really good on your face. Okay. Contouring. Let's talk about that. All right. Contouring. Why do you want to do it? To give your face dimension, especially in, you know, pictures and, yeah, I think especially in pictures. You know, a lot of us can really come off, you know, flat looking, or, you know, maybe your face looks wider in pictures than you want it to. And it's because when you're getting that flash of the picture, like this whole part of your face like comes forward with the flash, like, ah, hello, pretty. That was scary, I'm sure, for you, because it was scary for me, and I am me. Okay, so bronzers. What are... Hey, okay, so I ran out of memory card. Imagine that, because I'm like, oh. Okay, so bronzer. All right. Now, and you actually don't even need like a bronzer per se. If you even got like a powder in a darker shade, or like either a setting powder or even just like a powder foundation in a darker shade, that can also work for a bronzer. I'm going to show you just a couple of bronzers. Now, of course, everybody I'm sure has heard of the NARS bronzers, which I was buying, and I mean, and they're great. Don't get me wrong, the color on them is beautiful. This is Laguna, this lighter one, and this darker one is Casino, and those are those two right there. And I find that, you know, I can contour highlight with both, but also there are some great drugstore brands. One of my favorite dark, this one needs to be fixed, it's all broken. Alright, this is, y'all, I have, obviously it's my favorite. I've hit some massive pan on that. This is the NYC matte bronzer, and this is in the color Deep. Okay, now they have, there's also a color called Deep Tan, which, okay, so that's Deep, and that's Deep Tan from NYX. And they, I feel, are really similar in colors to Casino and Laguna from NARS. Okay, so those are the ones from NYX. This is, All my bronzers have fallen apart. This is just a Wet n Wild bronzer. This is called Reserve Your Cabana. And this has just a teeny bit, this is not entirely matte, but it's that one right there. I feel like it's matte enough that it will work for a contour, and you get a huge pan of this, and I think this is $2 or $3. That's a good one. Another good drugstore brand, cheap, is this one from NYC. This is the Smooth Skin Bronzing Face Powder, and this is in the color Sunny. Do I have any more fingers on this hand? Yeah. And that is that one. It's a little bit brighter, or a little bit lighter. It would be closer to, you know, like the NARS Laguna type. I'm sure, you know, if you know anything about Too Faced, I'm sure you've heard of their Chocolate Soleil bronzer. And this is just, you know, also a medium matte bronzer. There's that right there. This actually, it smells like chocolate, and this actually made my sister-in-law break out. So she's like, oh yes, I put that on my skin and it broke me out. So not everybody can use that. This is such a good alternative. Okay, now this is a little on the pricier side. This is from Revlon. This is their Photo Ready Bronzed and Chic, and they only have one shade, but it's 4 shades in here. So this is all completely matte, and this is $12 or $13, I think. But the nice thing about this is that you're getting, let me clean off my hand, is that you're getting 4 different shades of bronzer here. So not only can you basically, and I'll swatch all 4 of these shades for you guys. Alright, so it ranges from, you know, pretty light. This, you know, these top 2 shades could be used kind of as all over dusting, and then you could really get into some nice contouring with these darker shades, but you can kind of customize it to, you know, what shade of contour you need right then, because I know, you know, I lose everything, guys. That little brush fell down. Because I know, you know, there are some times of the year that I am more, you know, obviously more tan than other times, and, you know, this would be perfect for that because, you know, when you're a little bit darker, you use the darker contour or the darker bronzers to contour, and when you're a little bit more pale, you use the lighter ones. I like that a lot. So there are a couple options for bronzers for contouring. For highlighting. Okay. Now, if you're gonna contour, and contouring is basically to shrink, you know, the parts of your face, make, you know, your face look smaller in the areas that you want to make it look smaller. Highlighting is going to bring forward the areas that you want to bring forward, and this is cheekbones and eyebrows and your nose, and, you know, like this area under your eyes can all be highlighted. Like, I'm not talking under your eyes, I'm talking like right, you know, really close on your inner corner of your eyes is a really pretty highlight. I don't know if anybody watches Project Runway All-Stars, but I have to just complain about something real quick. If you watch Project Runway All-Stars, and you know Irina, the she was one of the past winners. She does her makeup really pretty, and she's really pretty, but she always looks really sad, and like she just finished crying, and it was driving me crazy, and she just got voted off, and it was driving me nuts. And this past episode, I'm like trying to figure out what she's doing with her makeup to make herself look so weepy and like looking like she's, I mean, she looks exhausted. I mean, and granted, she probably is. She's on Project Runway. They're doing, you know, crazy nonsense all the time, you know, build all this costumes in 12 seconds. But girl looks like exhausted. And the reason is because she's doing her highlight under her eyes, but then she does it like all under here. So this is like all super sparkly, and it just makes her look like, I don't know, girls, it is not a good look. You do not want to go overboard with your highlight because you will look crazy. So some good highlighters. This is like my favorite. I got this as my little birthday present from Sephora, and this is by Benefit. This is Watts Up, and this is just like a solid stick highlighter. I really like this. It gives you a super duper amount of, I mean, this is, you know, some really shimmery highlight. Oh, look, I put it right over the blush that I had on there. I'll do it over here. But, I mean, that is a shimmery highlight. Okay, newsflash. What can you use for highlight? You have a shimmery eyeshadow, boom, you have a highlighter. That is pretty much, you know, the long and short of things. You do not need to go crazy on highlighter. What I would avoid, white. Girls, you do not want this as your highlighter. You want something that's going to be passable as skin tone, and white is not, white's not going to be it. You're going to want to do a pink or even gold toned, you know, anything, you know, it's obviously it's still going to be light, but if you're going with either a pink toned shadow or a gold, light goldish toned shadow, that's going to be your best bet, because white is just going to look so stark. What am I looking for? Oh, it's right here. It's right here. Alright, in contrast to that white, you know, this is a beautiful pinky shade. This is, you know, a little bit of a creamy golden shade, and so is this. But they're all going to give you that highlight effect. You don't want white, though. You just don't want, you know, you want it to be, still, we're going crazy, we're putting a lot of makeup on, but you still want it to be subtle. Okay. So now we're going to actually do this. Let's get into the meat and potatoes. Blush and contour and highlight. Alright. Contour. You can use a couple different brushes for your contour. You can use like a little brush that, you know, if you feel comfortable with that. Or I feel like it's easier for me if I use a big brush. This is just an EcoTools. I got this at Walmart or something. It's just a big, you know, kind of blush brush. I don't know even what they label this as. But anyway, it's like a bigger brush. But the thing that I do to contour is I'll smash it down like this. My Wet n Wild. Okay, so I'm going to smash it down like this. And you're just going to pick up, you do not want a lot of product, okay? You pick up a little bit, unsqueeze it, you know what I mean. Let it go, tap it off, and then where you want to contour, if you do a fish face, it's going to be right where your little fish face does its line, okay? So right underneath your cheekbone. You can feel your cheekbone right there, girls, and you want to go right underneath it. So in this hollow area between, you know, underneath your ear, or not underneath your ear, but, you know, to your ear and under your cheekbone. And all you want to do with your contouring is just draw a little line right here. You don't want to go all the way to your mouth. You don't want to look crazy. Okay, so we do it again. Just pinch it, tap it in your product, dust it off, and the same thing over here. We're just going to put under that cheekbone and just draw that little line. I like to also bring, you know, after my brush has gotten the main amount of product off, pretty much you can use it for blending at this point. So I like to bring my contour down the sides of my face like this. Do the sides of your cheekbones like that. Then also, the other place that we're going to highlight, we're going to do the sides of our forehead right here. And all this highlight, contour. And I'm just dipping it, like touching it once, tapping it off, and then just, you know, blending it out. Now, you can really correct a lot of problems that you have with contouring. You know, if you are, you know, having a little bit of an issue with a double chin, you get under here with your contour, you go right under your jawline, and that will create, you know, a jawbone for you, ladies. If you don't have it there, we create it. I mean, how do you think men become women? Have you never seen drag queens, honey? They're terrific. And honey, all that is contour and highlight and makeup and just, you know, praying to the gods. Everything I learned is by drag queens, pretty much. Okay, so once you do your cheekbones and your forehead, now you want to get into your hairline also, because this is where, if you were out in the sun, like, you know, you should be, if you're outside, the light is naturally going to hit you right here on your hairline. So you want to put a little bit of bronzer there, and that's it. So now another thing that I really like to do is contour my nose. And I'm going to take just a little bit of product, you know, just touch it with your fingers, rub your fingers together to, I just feel like that evens out the product on both of your fingers. And then all you're going to do is from your eyebrows, just drag that straight down. And what that will do is slim the appearance of your nose, make it look smaller, and, you know, again, your face is becoming, you know, coming to life. We're going to do blush now. I'm going to use this Dream Bouncy blush, and I'm going to show you how to use a cream blush, because I feel like, you know, this is a product that I feel like a lot of people would be scared of, but you really don't have to be, because it applies so nice. Okay, so now I just went in with my finger and got a little bit of product up, okay? And I'm just going to start with a very light touch, just going around in circles right here on the little apple of your cheek. And smile at yourself when you're doing this, ladies. And what that's going to do is it's going to lift the part of your cheek that you want your blush to be on. And then I always like to bring it just back into my hairline a little bit. So just blend it back. And I find another nice trick for blush is that if you bring it up a little bit here into your, like right here up high on your cheekbones, I feel like it really helps to like counteract the look of your under eye circles too. I don't know. I feel like it just lifts your face a little bit more. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing on this cheek. And just, you know, soft circles. And this is great because, you know, you do not need a brush for cream products. You know, you pretty much have everything at your fingertips, ha ha ha, pun intended, that you need, and it gives you such a pretty finish. You know, you're almost getting a little bit of glow without, you know, we haven't even highlighted yet. So there's our blush, ladies, and just enough. I mean, you can see what it does to your face. It just brightens your face up and makes you look more healthy and radiant, and that's what we want. Okay, so now we're going to do our highlight, and this is where I like to highlight. Okay, when I do my highlight, I go right here on my cheekbones. All right, I do a little bit down my nose. I go on my Cupid's bow, because that will just make your lips look a little bit fuller. I don't know, it just looks pretty, girls. Just do it. All right. Right here. And then also, I like to put highlight on my brow bone. And as you can tell, this has made, you know, just such a difference. You've taken your face that, you know, you've made it picture perfect already with your foundation, and now you've just contoured it out, you've defined your face, and hope you liked it, ladies.